What's up, my hunting brothers and sisters? Today we're going to tackle insulation on an enclosed cargo trailer that maybe you'd like to camp out of or live out of. Who knows, but you got to stay warm. Let's get into this one. So the project at hand, we are going to insulate the walls and ceiling of this trailer. I don't know if I'm going to do the floor yet. I may do that as a project later down the road. I'm working against hunting seasons coming up, and I've got about 5 weeks to get everything I want done so that I've got this thing primarily insulated. I got my electrical and everything ready to go. Plus life gets in the way and everything else. I don't have a ton of time to work on this thing. So we're going to rip everything off. And so there's going to be a lot of time lapse and all that, I'm sure. Yeah, that's the project in hand. Here we go. All right, so I got this white vinyl backed boards on the wall here. And to remove them, you'll notice, I think this is pretty standard on all trailers. There are these heads here on these screws that have got funky star pattern. And that is not like a Torx bit pattern or anything. It is actually a square bit driver pattern. That allows you to manipulate it at a 45-degree angle. So that's what we'll be using to take all these off. I'm also going to number all the pieces. So these top trim pieces are all stapled on. I'm going to go and I'm going to take a utility knife. I'm going to cut the caulk line. When they built this, they used caulk on here to seal it up and dress it up. I'll cut it. I'm going to pop all those off. I'm going to number everything, number all the panels, pull these trim pieces off, number everything so it all goes back when I'm done. That is the plan. So I really didn't keep track of time, but I think that took maybe about an hour and a half to get everything out of here. So I'm gonna probably call it quits for tonight because I'm going to run to the store. I'm going to show you a few things. As I did this, I labeled everything so I know where everything goes back. I put all the fasteners in a container. I took the door off and the only thing I haven't done is I haven't taken the back of the door off. I ought to do that on a set of sawhorses so I can insulate the door. The ramp door I will do after everything else is insulated and done. So for now we're focused on this. Now these, I'm going to show you some things. These trailers, and this, I consider this a quality made trailer. All trailers are actually put together pretty crappy. Just things like the wiring. When you look at, for example, look at this ground connection right here. Like, that's ridiculous. There's all kinds of extra wire hanging out there and stuff. So things like that, I'm going to tear apart. They're all that way, as you can see. Look at all from when they build it, all the junk that's down in there. Now, some of it's stuff that, I generated, but they don't clean these up at all. Things like the way the wiring is routed here. First of all, look at the gap in the hole where the wiring comes up through. I'm going to have to seal all that off. There's a gap up here in the front. This is why you really need to do this to keep water out. But the wiring comes up. They got it in this sleeve right here. They come up and around. And then it's for whatever reason, they run up to an angle. And then it's just got some electrical tape here that runs over. It's just, when you look at it, and this is just not this manufacturer. They all do this. Cruddy, crappy wiring. So some of this wiring I'm going to clean up. These are just for the marker lights, but still, this is all ridiculous, the way it's all hung up here and everything. This is a spacer for the vent coming in. The funny part is they didn't put any type of spacer wood where the exit vent's at, which is hilarious. But yeah. So, you can say you're disappointed with certain things, but again, all of these cargo trailers, for the most part, are made in northern Indiana. This is just the attention to detail, and this is a quality one. Now, there's others out there made other places, I get it, but they're all like this. So, I need to get some spray foam. I need to get some sealants and seal up all the daylight areas and cracks to keep water out, especially on the floor. I'm going to measure up for my insulation board. I believe it's 1 inch thick, but I got to check everything. Go buy insulation board and everything, and then get it all cut and put in. So that's the next step. All right, so I'm starting the insulation phase of my 12 by 6 V-nose trailer. It is almost September 1st, and I need this trailer by the end of September. And it has been in the 90s every day. It's too hot. I've been busy. I've like had zero chance to work on this thing. So I'm going to do this over several evenings, hopefully, and get this thing insulated. So this may be broken up. But anyways, this is an ongoing video here. Really, I got three things really going on at the same time here. Is the insulation process, some wiring process, and epoxy floor. The epoxy floor is done. Last part of this video, you saw me stripping all of the inside walls off. All right, so I've already done the tailgate insulation. I had to do that because of the epoxy on the door and then being able to get inside to work on things. So I already skipped that part, but the fundamentals of it are just the same. However, the walls take 1 inch of insulation, and this took 1.5 inches. So I bought 1 inch board and then also 1/2 inch board. I'm going to show you the board that I'm using here. So we're getting ready to do these walls, and I got a couple pieces of board laying here. I got some back over here. Actually, that's an extra piece of 1/2 inch down there on the end. That's going to probably go back and get my money back for that. All right, so I bought this insulation board at Home Depot, and I priced out all the Owens Corning pink board, all the other stuff. And this is a Sika Pro Select board, as you can see right here. This is the 1 inch thick, and as you can see, there it is. And it actually has got a silver reflective side and then the white side. And this is 1 inch thick. And a couple reasons I bought this. The pink board was only like R5, 1 inch. This is R6, so it's more insulation. And the pink board was like $28 a sheet, and this stuff was like $18 a sheet. It gives some instructions here. It actually advises in the instructions that you put the silver side towards the living space. So I'll be putting that on the inside of the trailer. And again, I did 1/2 inch plus 1 inch on the tailgate. So I actually have R 9.2 on the tailgate portion of this. So yeah, that's why I went with this board. It was economy and the higher R value. So first up, I'm going to start back here at the back of this thing because I got less going on. I'm going to measure up each one of these bays, and I'm going to put the board in these bays. I'm probably not going to show this whole process. It's very, very, very redundant. Once I get the walls all done, and I got some electrical up by the nose that I got to do before I finish things up, then we'll go in and we'll do the ceiling. So here we go. So as I noted after I got the wall panels off, there were voids, and I used spray foam to fill up some of those voids. This is an extra power cable I ran. That's for something else we'll talk electrically later. Spray foam to fill up these voids where I can see daylight. And then you can see where there were gaps between the frame and the side. I put silicone, white silicone, all around this thing. Really just trying to eliminate any spots where moisture could get in. I bundled up a bunch of the electrical wires as well. So when I do put the insulation in, I'm gonna have to like cut out little round circles and a little notch here for the wire to come out, but I bundled up all the extra stuff. So yeah, there's that. $75 7/8. 20 and an 1/8. The other cool part about this is is just a drywall square, and it's 4 foot long. I think you can get longer ones, but that's all I have. And I just measured my 20 and an 1/8, and you really don't even need to mark it, but if you're concerned, you can. And then all you're going to do is hold down your square and take a utility knife, and you're just going to go down in here, and you're just going to cut along your square. And it's 1 inch thick, so this razor blade will not go the whole way through it. But once we get it cut the whole length, we're just going to flip it over and snap it, and then cut the finished side. flip it. And we're going to snap it. We just come back. You sure you got a really sharp blade. And we're just going to cut the paper. And we're going to do this for every single piece that we cut. And it really is about this easy, folks. Cut it the right length. Silver side out. It just sets right in there like that. So now this one here, when I put it up, because of the pulley, I had to cut this so I could get the lower piece in and then bring this piece in. But really, I mean, I'm going to end up taping all this and everything. So, you know, there's that. All right, so there we go. It's about 10:30 at night. It took me an hour and a half. I got one wall done. I even taped all the seams up and everything. So yeah, there's that one wall. Still have this wall to go and the nose and the top. So a lot of work, but that's it for tonight. All right, so this is basically the project that I can't find time to work on. But over a period of a few nights, I did get all the walls insulated. It really doesn't take a lot of time. I just haven't had time to work on it. I have not done the ceiling yet. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put the wall panels all back up, see where I'm at. I mean, I've got all the insulation material, and then I'm going to do the ceiling. So that's kind of the order I'm going to go. There's a couple electrical things I'm going to have to do kind of in the middle. The floor is done, so there's that. All right, so here we are. Again, yet another day later, finishing up, putting the walls back up in this thing. Again, I get so little time to work with, it seems like this year to get stuff done. But so everything's insulated in the walls. The wall panels are up. I've not put up the trim yet. I'm gonna hold off on doing that. I've not put up the corner trim on purpose. I've left a void because I need to run the cables for the solar panel down through the front. Gonna come out here, and I'm gonna have an electrical panel back on this front wall over here. So that's where I'm at. I still have to insulate the ceiling yet. What I think I'm gonna do, because I haven't decided what I'm gonna put up here, probably some sort of paneling or something, but I don't know. I'm running out of time because I'm gonna need this thing in a couple weeks, but we'll see. I think I'm gonna get spray adhesive, and I'm gonna spray adhesive up the insulation for now, put in some lights and everything, and possibly be done with it. We'll see. It all depends on timing, but that's where I'm at so far. We'll keep rolling with this installation video as I do some ceiling. Time to jump over and do a little bit of electrical stuff as well. So that's it so far. All right, so here I am a couple days later. And I said I was not going to do anything with the ceiling quite yet. I decided to because even though I used a spray adhesive on the insulation in the ceiling, it kept wanting to fall down. So I went ahead and I just bought this, I don't know, it's like a bead board. It was at Menards. It was like the least expensive thing they had. It was like 18 bucks a sheet, 20 bucks a sheet, something like this. And it doesn't look overly fancy. I just used, in fact, here, I'll show you. I just used screws to put up in here. And I really don't care. I mean, I want it to look decent. But this is a cargo trailer that I am using for cargo purposes at times, to haul goose decoys, because I do some waterfowl hunting, and also to camp out of when I go on hunting trips. So this is not something where you see these cargo conversions of folks going and living off the grid for months at a time, or living in them all the time. So that was not the purpose. So I think it's going to look good enough. I got a few things in this that I've not done yet. So again, everything's insulated in the walls, and the wall panels are put back up. Everything's insulated in the ceiling. The ceiling panels are put up. You can see there's kind of a dip right here. That's because nothing in these is square, I found out. So this one kind of missed the member, but I'm gonna put the trim piece back up here, and that trim piece will support that edge right there. So that'll all be good. I obviously have not done the nose section yet. I'm going to do that. In fact, the insulation pieces are cut. They're right down here. They're all cut, and I just got to cut the beadboard to go back up here. But I'm getting ready to do some more electrical stuff, and so I want to leave this open because I'm going to cut a hole right up through here for the solar panel cable to run right down through this groove. Again, it'll all be hidden. I've started some basic electric, but that's where I'm at. So that really kind of wraps up the insulation part of this. When this is all sealed up, I'll just kind of show you a once over when everything's here complete so you can see what it looks like. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Really, this is not a hard project. It does take time. I mean, I don't know, I probably have, by the time I stripped everything out of here and cleaned everything up and insulated and put everything back up, and I probably have 15, 16 hours in this part of the project. So there you go. All right, so this is just kind of a final wrap up on the insulation. You can't see the insulation obviously now because I've got all the wall panels up, I got all the trim up, I got all the top board up. Just a cheap paneling I bought at Menards, nothing fancy, and it's covering it all up. But really, it was a fairly simple project. It was probably the most labor intense project of this whole trailer build I've done. So I'm pretty excited about it. I've not insulated the floor. Not too concerned about it. Maybe that'll be next summer's project. But I think for my needs, this is going to be perfect. Again, I don't live in the trailer long term. I'm going out for 3-4 day hunts. I just want something to take a bit of the chill out of the air. Probably put some sort of heat in this eventually. But yeah, it definitely helps in the heat too, to keep some of the heat out. It doesn't get that just like feeling like you're in an oven effect. So you can do this. It's not a difficult project, but it is time consuming. So there you go. Make sure you stay tuned and check out all my other videos on this trailer build. And as always, God bless, and it's a new day in the outdoors.